I was a beginner 14 years ago, and I was believing all these myths I'm gonna talk about today, and trust me, it didn't help me at all because it made the whole process of becoming a full-time freelance photographer way harder than it should. So today I'm going to debunk all these myths because they're gonna help you a lot to become a professional photographer if that's what you are looking for, obviously. The myth number one would be that there is too much competition. I keep hearing this all the time, and it's normal because you are scared. We are all scared when we start and we don't know if we should follow this career. Yes, there is a lot of competition, but there is a lot of photography demand. Now more than ever, because we have social media, we have a lot of websites, we have so many new companies, very young ones as well. So there is a lot of demand in photography. There is competition, but also demand. So you definitely can make it as a photographer, and I live in London, which means I do have a lot of competition here with photographers that are way better than me, and I still made it. So yes, there is competition, but there is a space for everyone. You can't make a living with photography. Yes, you can. I did it, and I left my country, Spain, over 10 years ago to pursue my dreams as a creative in London. I couldn't speak the language, I didn't have a house, I didn't know anyone here, I didn't have a job to pay my bills, and I made it. So if I can, you can, definitely. Of course, it's not gonna be easy at the beginning, depending on where you live, but you can do it. And as I said before, there is a lot of demand for photography, and everything is photography. And with social media, everyone needs photos. Companies, individuals as well, freelancers. So yes, you can make a living with photography. You need to be incredibly good to make it. That's not true because I'm not the best photographer in the world, and I did it. And when I started as a freelance photographer full-time, I wasn't the best. My quality was worse than now, and I made it. So many beginners, we struggle with this because we think we had to point high and we had to become someone or things like that regarding photography. You don't need to point high at the beginning because most likely nobody's gonna get back to you. So what you got to do is always, I tell you this on my channel all the time, so if you are here for a long time, you know what I'm gonna say. But what you got to do is to point brands or individuals that they don't have good photography, let's say. You can see in their social media channels that their photography is not good enough. And if you feel you can improve their photography, you reach to them. Don't reach to Adidas, Nike, or National Geographic if you're a wildlife photographer. Focus on getting better and first point lower and then go higher. But you don't need to be the best to be able to make it as a photographer. You need to be published in a magazine. I struggled with this personally because for some reason, my dream was to work for a magazine as a photographer. And then I found out that it's very overrated. I met people from the fashion industry here. I met people who work for Vogue magazine and Condé Nast, which is the editorial, and it's huge. And then I realized, it's like, Laura, why do you want to work for them? Many photographers, they get published, but just so you know, most of the times they don't get paid for it. The problem with magazines is that many photographers send their pictures for free because they want to say they've been published in Vogue magazine, in National Geographic, or whatever it is. And don't get me wrong, it's an amazing thing to have in your career, you know, like a feature in one of those magazines. But most likely they're not gonna pay you. So this is something that you can do, and it's fine and it's beneficial, but don't pursue it like your priority because nobody gets paid in magazines unless they are very big photographers that work for them, and it's quite hard to get there. You need an agency to be able to work as a photographer. There are so many agencies out there that hires photographers, freelance photographers. They have like a database and then you are represented by them. I find this very hard to get as a beginner because I tried myself when I arrived to London and also when I became better, and you don't have any response and can be very discouraging, and it can damage your mental health a lot. Because as photographers and creatives, we have this imposter syndrome that never goes away, I can promise you that. And it's not good when we get rejection. Don't take me wrong, it's still good to reach to agencies, but when you are ready. I found more success pitching brands and individuals myself. I was making money by myself, and I make money finding clients myself. And by word of mouth, it works incredible because I work with clients and then other clients come to me because of word of mouth. So that works very good to make money as a photographer, and I didn't need agencies. I'm not telling you one day I'm not gonna work for one. I think it's very beneficial as well because they look for jobs for you. But as a beginner, pointing to an agency, it can be very discouraging because they're not gonna accept you that easy. It's way better to try to find your clients yourself. You need a photography studio. I love this myth because I used to be stuck with this one, very discouraged because I couldn't get a photography studio in London. The rent is crazy high and I couldn't afford to rent a photography studio as well. So I did learn on my own to do home photography studios. And I did build so many in different houses I've been living. I was sharing flat, I was doing a home photography studio in my small room and shooting with music artists professionally in a small room. So you can make it happen that way. And I do have already 3 videos talking about that. I'm gonna link them below, at least one of them, where I tell you the most affordable gear. You can have it, even if you have to save a couple of months. It's very cheap because I tell you the minimum gear you need to be able to have a home photography studio, like the one you see here behind. And also, even if you cannot afford that minimum gear I talk about, you can shoot outdoors. You wouldn't even believe how many amazing locations are out there, and you can even try to get the look of a studio, just selecting the right wall outdoors. So don't limit yourself with things that you don't need to limit yourself with. So you don't need a photography studio. You can build your own at home, link below, or you can shoot outdoors. You need to spend a lot of money on marketing. This is not true. And I used to believe this as well. I was getting stuck. I was thinking, how am I gonna get myself known if nobody knows about me? Marketing, right? Marketing can be very good and is necessary, but I didn't need it personally. Just once I did Google Ads and it didn't work out because my website wasn't as good as now. I didn't know how to do things. I was a beginner, so I didn't know how to do it. And I didn't have any result, probably because I did it wrong. But then it's like, okay, this is too complicated, so I didn't get into Facebook ads, Instagram ads, Google ads. I'm not saying I will never gonna do it, but for now, I never did. What it works for me always is, again, as I told you before, talking to people, networking, reaching out to people personally with emails, DMs on Instagram. You have to move yourself to be able to get clients, and you don't need marketing if you do that. I know you take time to email people and research for brands and individuals to work for, but it's free, and this is where it works best for me. I didn't need marketing. One day maybe I will use it for other things because it's very, very useful and is a must in many businesses, but personally, if you are a beginner, you don't need yet to invest on marketing. You need to live in a big city. This is a myth, and it's not. Because I left Spain to be able to make it happen in London, because I'm aware this is such a creative city. So yes, it does help a lot. I'm gonna recognize it does help a lot the place where you live. But if you are not in the situation to move like I did, I mean, if you are, pursue your dreams, move out. You are not a tree, like people say. You have 2 legs and you can move out. And it's not that, well, yeah, it is scary at the beginning. I have to recognize it's very scary. But you can move out and pursue your dreams. You don't need to be stuck in a town if you are pursuing, I don't know, creative portrait photography, and in your town there is not market for that. But if you cannot move from your place because of family, or you have a house that you paid for, whatever it is the reason, I do have a video where I explain you about so many ideas to make money with photography wherever you live, and I'm gonna link it somewhere here, up here. So check that video out if you cannot move from your place and you feel there is not market enough, because I give you so many ideas there depending on where you live. And I want to remind you as well that I have a private community. It's like Patreon, but it's not Patreon. It's buymeacoffee.com/LauraBC. And I do share monthly exclusive videos, and I show you more things about photography and how to make a living with your camera. My last video, and I'm gonna do more like this, is a case study of my last photo shoots in Harrods for a luxury brand. And what I did is the case study of the photo shoot, and I told you how many pictures I took, how much I charged. I told you as well how I edited the pictures and why in the fashion industry I edit that way. And then I tell you as well a little problem I had and how I solved it and how much I charge for that. So I think this is very beneficial for you guys to learn properly how photographers work from the inside. And when I do mistakes as well, I tell you and how I correct them. So I'm gonna put the link below, and it's a way to learn more about photography and support my work. And by the way, thank you so much for everyone who is already there, because the community is growing a lot, and I'm very happy about that because we share the same passion. And I think it's quite great to be able to have a crew of people interested in the same thing and growing together. Anyway, if you like the video, please like it and subscribe to my channel if you didn't yet, and I will see you in the next one. Big love. I'm in so much pain. Okay. The only thing didn't help me at all.